Hey guys, it's Brian back on the 67 Firebird project. Now, if you've been watching this, you know that we drove to Oklahoma to pick up my late brother's 1967 Firebird. We drove it back to Arizona with a little bit of drama, but nothing too bad. We finally had a chance to last episode to get in and start checking on the motor to see where we're at. Made sure the starter was good. Had to trace down wires and fuses. The key cylinder to start this thing is just kind of hanging there. A little bit of overspray, which we'll take care of that later down the road. But we got it to start, sort of, until this happened. Bam! Well, on to this week's episode. So guys, it's been a little over a month since we've drug home the Firebird from Oklahoma, and we've been working on it. New starter, new HEI distributor, new fuel pump, new cap, new rotor, plug wires, the whole bit. We even pulled the carb off and make sure it was doing well, and so far no spark yet, and so we're trying to still figure that out. But I think we can do it. I've had a ton of help from both my kids, Xavier and Robert, my boys, and some friends have come over to help and make their ideas known to what they think is wrong with the car. So let's get into this week's show and see if we can't get this Firebird started. All right, guys, one of the things we noticed that we didn't show you in the last video was the carburetor actually wasn't even bolted down to the intake. So we went and picked up some nuts to lock that down. Thanks for all the suggestions on why that huge flame popped up in the back from people on Facebook. And also my son Xavier, who rebuilt a Pontiac, I think it was a 77 or 78 Firebird Trans Am a few years back. So he's been kind of helping me out. It's kind of been bringing the whole family kind of back together on this project car, being his uncles and my brother. So we decided to go ahead and rotate that cap 180 degrees. Everyone kept telling me you're off, your timing's off 180 degrees. So go ahead and get that taken care of. We'll flip this cap, the rotor underneath the cap, and we'll get that rocking and rolling for everyone. It's been an interesting build and a process. I don't have a lot of time right now with work, so it's whenever I can have a few hours after work or on weekends to kind of get to the Firebird and work on it. And I haven't been too timely with weekly updates. It just kind of the way life goes sometimes with these cars and everything else. So we'll get into it. We'll go ahead and rotate the rotor to where it's at top dead center, and we did do the little where you take tissue paper and you stick it in the spark plug number one's hole, and when it pops out, it kind of tells you you're at top dead center, which verified that the mark on the harmonic balancer may not be TDC. So again, not having any history of this car, not 100% sure what the heck's going on. So we'll go ahead and get that squared away and move that a little bit, picking up the distributor. And again, this is a temporary distributor that a neighbor let me borrow, so still need to get my own from another buddy who's going to send me one. Just haven't had a chance to get all that squared away here. But I got it set down from what I could tell was a TDC, and making sure it was all set to go there before I tighten down that hold down bracket. Kind of moving into place where it drops down. Get it set. All right, and let's give it a shot. Almost. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on. So close. So close. Oh. Everything was going good until we heard a pop. This just happened. Busted the negative battery cable. We'll have to get us a new cable. So maybe that will help our hot wire problem on the car. Alright, so let's get one of those now. Well, figured I could have just bought an end and replaced it, but might as well go ahead and for the extra $5 just buy a whole new cable. So we'll get this out of the package and get it back on that car. Alright, so we replaced the ground cable. We figured it's, 25, 50 years old, who knows. So I replaced it, and still getting both cables warm. So I'm going to go ahead and replace the positive one that goes down to the battery with a new one. So we'll see if that helps out. I'm going to do that, and then we'll move on to something else. So one of the people who've been watching my videos suggested that I make sure the transmission isn't in gear. It has a turbo 350 in the car, and I'm starting to wonder if it's not in gear. So I'm going to see if I can't move that lever and get it into park and see if that will help us out. Give it a shot here. Let's see what we got. Alright, so all the way to the bottom I think is first, then all the way up. That should be park. So it was not in park. It was in first, I guess. So, oh, well, all right. Well, that helps out a little bit. But while doing that, we have a huge oil mess. So I think we're going to go and change the oil and find out where this oil is coming from, and get that taken care of. Oh, there's an oil filter that needs some cleaning. Alright, let me clean this up and we'll see where we go from here. So we found out that oil leak was coming from a missing bolt off of the oil pan underneath the car. So I need to source a 1/4 inch 20 thread, about a 3/8 bolt for that. But I was able to fix that. We also figured out our oil fuel pump wasn't working because it wasn't filling up the little plastic clear filter on the motor, and that's probably why we had to constantly be adding fuel down the fuel bowls in the carburetor. So ran by CarQuest, we got us a new fuel pump for $20, and took off one of the bolts from the fuel pump to hold the fuel pump rod into place. Then we could slip on the new fuel pump and get it in and locked down. So with our new fuel pump in place, we should, in all theory, we should be ready to go. Go for it. But as we've learned with this car, problems continue. More starting issues, and then fuel pump works, but now this happens. Oh, yeah. Time to check on that carburetor. That's not supposed to happen. Alright, so pull the carburetor. I'm going to go ahead and just pull off these screws right here all the way around to get that top hat off. And those are where the needle valves, I believe, are at. Metering rods. So we'll pull this off. Oh, boy. Oh, look at those. Those things are definitely gummed up. And look at those bowls. 25 years of sitting, boys. Alright, looks like I got a job ahead of me now. Yum. Alright guys, a couple cans of carb cleaner and a gasket set. I got in there, cleaned everything up, made sure my floats didn't have any holes in them and they were sucking down gas, and I put it all back together and put it back on the car. Guess we should take care of that oil now. Okay, and on the Chevy 350, there's our chrome oil pan, thanks to my brother. There's the drain plug. And then right there's a chrome oil filter, which I've never seen before. And again, I haven't worked on a Chevy 350 in probably 15 plus years when I had a 74 Corvette Stingray with a 350 in it. So we're gonna pull that drain plug, drain this oil out, pull that oil filter out and see if we can replace it and pour some more oil in this thing. Had to use one of these rubber filter wrenches just to get that big sucker off there. But hopefully now she'll come undone and we'll see what happens. Let's get that off. So my brother was really into chrome, and he even covered the oil filters. Yeah. Sorry, bro. This looks cool and all, but it's a pain in the bling, yeah, to get off. So it's chrome, it's cheap, out it goes. We're just gonna put that on. All right, let's get some oil on this girl. Give her 5 quarts and a new filter, and we'll see if this helps her out any. Okay, give it a little crank. Shot. So while trying to get it started again, that's when I kind of looked at the cap and went, wait a minute, why did I put the wires on this way? Just ass backwards. So must have been thinking about a Porsche motor. So I got the wires situated up, back, and still no start. But I'm thinking that starter is probably seen better days.
I want this thing to fire up.
So the next thing I did is I had a buddy of mine who has a working Edelbrock 1406 carburetor. He pulled it off of his Mustang and he brought it over to the house to see if our problem is the carburetor. So we spent some time, we put it on, and still nothing. It just won't start. Doesn't matter if it's with his carburetor or my carburetor. The engine still will just not start. A couple days later, my son Robert, who is going to Grand Canyon University here in Phoenix, stopped by the house, and we did some more work. And we went ahead and we replaced the starters. We have a new starter, new fuel pump, the new HEI distributor. We had all that done. We went through and we again went to top dead center. We tried top dead center at 10 degrees advance. We continued to just try and look things over and see where it just wasn't happening for us. And eventually we figured it out, but only after, trying and trying. So our problem was the power wire to the coil on the battery side. We did have it running down and into the car, into the fuse block, but for some reason, every time we'd get 12 volts, but as soon as we would go to start it, as soon as the starter would start, but then it would stop supplying 12 volts. So what we did was we hooked up the wire directly to the battery, and once we did that, this is what happened. All right, you ready?
Ready.
Okay, give it a shot. One more time. So my wife really wanted to capture my face when the car first started, but because she was inside the car recording the video, she couldn't do it. So she surprised me. And oh yeah, you can see how happy I am with this smile. Oh yeah. So y'all are familiar with the struggle it's been to get this 67 Firebird from Oklahoma back to Arizona. If you've been following any of my videos, and if this is your first time watching, I'll link someplace up there where you can watch the entire series of getting this 67 Firebird back to Arizona. Story has it that my brother, who is the oldest and I'm the youngest of 5, bought the car in the late 70s. Originally was a brown car with a manual transmission, inline 6, and at some point in time, after he bought it and they moved to Oklahoma, him and his wife Debbie, and settled down, started having a family. They had a daughter named Amber. And along the way it was a project car, like so many of us. We get a car and we just want to work on it and have fun with it. And through the course of time, he put in an automatic turbo 350. He put in a Chevy 350 out of a mid-70s Chevy. Not quite sure where it came out of. Painted it obviously red. And it's about as far as I know the history of. So, getting it here was tough. First of all, had not been started and run in 25 plus years. So sometime in the mid-90s, my brother's daughter Amber says the last time she heard the car run. In doing so and sitting out in the open of 25 winters and 25 summers in the Midwest and Oklahoma definitely has taken its toll. I have a Starlight sunroof, moonroof on the Bird. Obviously you can see it's missing bits and pieces and whatnot. But on top of that, the steering box is frozen, so we couldn't steer it to get it up on the trailer. And big cheers to Jason, that's Amber's husband, for his work on helping us get this thing up on the trailer. All four wheels were flat. Steering box wouldn't turn, so we had no control of the wheels. We had to disconnect the steering mechanism to get it up on a trailer. It was just a battle and a half. And of course on the way home, we were about 100 miles from home, and the trailer we rented from U-Haul had a blowout, or actually the bearing froze up in it, which caused the blowout, caused the fire. Had to have the fire department and highway patrol come out and take care of all that for us. So pretty interesting. So we get it here and we just start the process of just going through it and trying to get this thing to start, and the struggles of getting a straight inline six to a 350 converted over back 25 years, having no history, and it was pretty tough. We had to replace the starter, had to replace the fuel pump, had to replace the distributor, a ton. That carburetor wasn't bolted down, so we had to bolt it down, and we assumed it's in working order. But long story short, we were able to get the car running, and that's where I kind of wanted to make this video, to kind of say that whether your beliefs or what they are, in my world, in my family, we believe those who have passed on are still with us. They just kind of comfort us, they kind of look over us, they kind of watch over us in a sense. We struggled to get this thing started. I had people give me advice online, I had neighbors give me advice. Both my sons came and helped and gave me advice. Friends, everyone tried to work through the process, work through the kinks to get this thing to start. And it started, and that's cool. There's more issues that we have to deal with that we'll deal with in later videos. But the funny thing is, the thing that really touched me, and I didn't realize this till much later in the evening, was the day the car started, the day that we got it to turn over and run on its own, under its own wheel, was my brother's only child's birthday. Up until that point, we had tried multiple things, did not work, and then on her birthday, it fires up and runs. And it just sends chills through me to think about it and to talk about it. And I know the car needs a lot of work, a ton of work, front to back. But God willing, and with maybe it's you guys' support, helping me out on here, doing what you can to help me along the way, I want to get this car back up and running and driving. If that means rebuilding this motor, so be it. It means welding on a new roof eventually. It needs a new paint job. Basically everything, front to back, has to be done to it. But the fact that my brother looking down upon us that day, knowing it was his only child's birthday, and to make sure that on that day it would run, that's pretty freaking special. And I just wanted to pour my heart out to my family tonight on this video and just say we're going to get this going. We're going to get this thing running. For whatever the reasons were that it hasn't been done while my brother was sick and through the years, we're going to get it done. We're going to enjoy this car. We're going to remember the memories, and we're going to make new memories. And I hope you guys who reached out to me watching these few videos, I'm a Porsche guy. I know nothing really about Chevys and American Iron, but you guys have reached out, and that's a cheers to you guys for helping me out on this. Continue to support me. We're going to get this bird running. We're going to get it rolling. We're going to get it rocking, put back together, and enjoy it. So if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button down below. Give me a thumbs up on this video. Help the channel grow a little bit. The YouTube thing isn't about money. It's pennies like for every view. It's like a half a cent every time someone watches the video. So it's not about the money. But if we can do something cool and you guys want to be a part of it and help out, that'd be awesome. Just, you know, like and subscribe and maybe share this out with friends on your social media. But this is to you, my brother Keith, KJ, and your Firebird, and us getting it back together, and for having it start and run for the first time in 25 years on your only child's birthday. So, cheers to you, my brother. And with that, I'm going to wrap this video up, and again say thank you to you guys for watching, and I hope you stick around. I hope you continue to watch. We got a lot of projects. We got a motor we got to deal with. We got a steering box. We got suspension upgrades. We have a roof we have to worry about. You name it, we're going to have to pull this all off, and with your guys' help, I want to try to get it all done here in the garage and in the house and make it work. So thank you guys so much for watching the last few videos. Please continue to hang out and watch what we got coming up. Still have more Porsche stuff coming, so if you're interested in Porsches, I got some stuff coming for that. And of course, we'll continue to work on the Firebird. Again, thank you guys so much, and make sure to like and subscribe. Have a good one.